Teddy! You're with me on this one, right?
Oh, your strength gives me strength.
When the movie was going to come out, we had no idea what it was going to be. Is it a comedy? Is it an action picture? Is it an adventure? All of it, none of it. I can still hear Rachel going, "Oh no, they're going to confiscate our equity cards." Like, what does that even mean? Did we do it wrong? Did we chew up the scenery too much? I know I did, but. School ties.
In 10 years, nobody's gonna remember any of this. But you'll still be a goddamn Jew.
You'll still be a prick. School Ties was my first feature film, and I thought it was also going to be my last one for all I knew. So each day is one that I can remember something unique about. And all the time that I've been lucky enough to be making movies, so much of it becomes a blur, but because it was such an opportunity for a 22, 23-year-old actor, the gravity of it, none of it was lost on me. But I had to try to put that out of mind because I really had no frame of reference for what pressure felt like or didn't feel like. I didn't know. It was a cast that was introducing a lot of new actors that we would see coming up in the 90s, like Matt, Ben, Chris. It was sort of the diner model, is what we were told. My screen test for it was with Matt, and I knew that I needed to match pitch with him. I wasn't really certain how working for camera differentiated from what I was accustomed to, having just, at the time in my life, come out of training in a conservatory. I knew that I needed to size things down. You're not playing to the last row. And I also knew that if I just listened to what Matt was saying, I was getting across what needed to be acted and conveyed. And I think that's because he's such a good actor. He makes you better. And I'm pretty sure that has a lot to do with why I got the job. It's a film about wanting to belong. Sooner or later, we've all felt like we've had our nose pressed up against the glass and we wanted to be a part of what was on the inside, and there was something keeping us out. And that's who David Green was. He was good enough, but he wasn't accepted because of his fundamental existence.
A Jew!
Grow up, for Christ's sake.
I'll reach for so mature.
Whether it's by accident or design, because I think I worked almost every day of the 58 days, that I wasn't always hanging out with the guys after work because I was always busy off doing something somewhere else. So in a way, I kind of did feel a little bit like the outsider, wanting to belong with the guys, you know. I think the scene is about being stripped bare of all of the colors and shades and armor that we wear, how we identify with one another. So it was appropriate that it was set in a locker room with teenage boys who, when they disagree, lock the door and they fight. It shouldn't happen, but it happens. The dispute is therefore even uglier because they're just shaved apes bashing on each other, cursing at one another. It reveals the prejudice that we depict in an appropriate way. George is a good guy. George is just there to help. George is the original Babe in the Woods. How do you act a cartoon character? I don't know. I think you have to make him a person. You have to have him have hopes and aspirations. And yes, there are rules about George. He will always win the day because his secret weapon is dumb luck. I loved working with Leslie Mann and Thomas Hayden Church. I loved working with all the guys who were the pack bearers. I loved working with the suit performers in George. They were fantastic. I mean, these guys have a niche performance expertise in simian behavior. I mean, these are the guys that went on to do a lot of the Planet of the Apes movies. They were actors, performers in suits with heads, attached, and Jim Henson's Creature Shop using cutting edge animatronics to make the faces move and be puppeted remotely. It was exciting to combine all of these different elements to make a really broad, colorful comedy. George of the Jungle was using CGI technology in a way that was first just starting to come into the world of filmmaking in a way that we really take for granted now. For instance, George's dog is Shep. He's an elephant. And on the day we shot with Ty, the elephant, the shot was designed to have Shep framed up with George, and then George introduces his dog to Ursula and says, "This is my dog." I think I went to scratch the elephant like you would scratch a dog. The CGI guys who were there to watch, scrutinizing with hawk eyes about every movement that I made, because if I raised my arm higher than one picture plane and crossed, for instance, the eyes of the elephant, across his eyes, they couldn't animate those in the way that they wanted to make them look like they had big blinky eyebrows and lashes. And if I did it too low, then it would have been another, I don't know what, $100,000 if I did this. And it was on budget if I did this. For what we know now and what we started off with then and going back even further, it's just astonishing to see what we can do with CGI. It all comes back to the actor, the performer, believing in what they're doing, because if they don't, then their audience won't. No matter how much you gussy it up with all the bells and whistles. I cut my teeth in George of the Jungle in learning how to work in a real broad comedic way, and also hone that into a performance that made sense to everyone who had to work on it in post-production to sell the broad jokes. Encino Man. When my father's work had us traveling every 3-4 years somewhere new, the Midwest, parts of Europe, parts of the Northwest, Seattle. I went to school in Toronto. Whether I felt like I belonged or didn't, I knew that I felt comfortable in my own skin. Because when you're the new guy, you got to find a way to fit in instantly. It's just a basic survival tactic that we all have. I guess I might have really latched onto that way of working early on, because there were a series of naif characters, the babe in the woods, the fish out of water, the new guy, new in town and just trying to fit in, get along. My heroes were Buster Keaton to Bill Irwin in the height of his clowning career. These savant, poker-faced, Chaplin-esque performances that defines cinema to this day for the contribution that they've made was nothing that was lost on me in the time that I was in training, and certainly what I remembered about what you needed to bring to a comedic performance. And the last thing that you need to bring to a comedic performance is the comedy. I have no idea how to be funny. I don't know why people may think I am. I am the least funny person I know. I just think you have to believe in everything you're doing, because if you don't, your audience won't. It keeps you honest. To do that character, I look towards the innocence of one of those herding dogs, that they'll do what you say and they want to please you and they want to make sure that they're included. They want to keep everyone together and they want to get it right. Absolutely going to get it right. That was sort of the springboard, the spirit animal that I had in my approach to playing Link, the thought-out caveman. That, and I was pretty wide-eyed about being in this big Hollywood comedy at the time that was produced by Disney. I mean, I guess I really just had to show up to work and feel like, wow, what is going on around me? And that's what Link is doing all the time. Wow, where am I? What is it? Will you be my friend? You won't. You will, you won't. Oh, we're good, we're good. The Mummy series.
You must not read from the book!
It's an action picture wrapped up in a comedy and a romance and an adventure and a little bit of a horror and a thrill-a-minute kind of roller coaster popcorn movie. It had a lot of prove-it shots in it. We rode our own camels, we wielded our weapons, we fought one another, we ran around in the heat of the desert of Ouarzazate in Morocco. And all of that gave an authenticity to the movie that I think made it more globally appealing than if it had been, shot in Arizona or New Mexico. The late great Jim Jackson was adamant about going to the place where Lawrence of Arabia was shot. I mean, the very place itself is an important character in the movie. It was thrilling. It had a little bit of, not danger per se, but some risk taking to it also that felt like, well, what will happen today? Will we survive Stephen Sommers, who's one of his favorite directions that he would give was he'd go, ready, and don't suck, action! Through a bullhorn, and we'd like, and things would blow up and stuff would fall down and animals on fire and Arnold. Okay, we got it. Let's do it again, we're here. Stephen just loves making movies. He loved his job. His enthusiasm's infectious. I loved making that movie. It was kind of like coming back to another semester of college. Like, hey guys, how'd your summer go? Did you get a job? It was good to see everybody. And to go back to Morocco too. Like, hey, there's like, that's my favorite camel guy, like, hi, how are you? Salah, how are you, man? Hey, man. Yeah, can I have my sunglasses back? You borrowed them that one day. You never gave back. Never mind. You keep them. It was just more of the same. People wanted more, so we gave them more of the same. We gave them more is more. Lucky us, they responded. I'm gonna blow your mind here because I never met Dwayne until after the premiere because he was a piece of tape on a stick that we referred to while we were beating on me and Arnold were beating on each other. Then they, of course, put him in CGI later. And I know, be kind. The guys who did the CGI of the Scorpion King at the premiere, they were like, hey, how are you? Great. Good job. Hey, we did the Scorpion King CG. And they kind of went, yeah, we need a little more time before we, but they did, it was very last minute. I don't know. But some of the charm of it is now when you watch it now, like it could get remastered, I guess, but it kind of wouldn't be as fun if you didn't see this sort of janky video character of Dwayne going, somehow it's just perfect how it works. How things work out.
Here we go again.
Okay, so first of all, look, it's an action movie. Rob Cohen was directing this one, and Stephen Sommers was executive producing it. So it had a different spirit, a different character. Sadly, Rachel didn't come back. I mean, I say it selfishly. It was its own film. And it was set in Shanghai and parts of China. It was a lot, it was a lot of fighting, a lot of fall down, go boom.
Welcome to the 20th century!
I had been, up until that point, always playing every role that I had as kinetically as possible, as physically as possible, as engaged in what the action of the character was to get my meaning and my point across. What can I say? It caught up with me. I had a few injuries that became another injury. Like they said, I was playing hurt. So I would wrap up and tape, and you do the things you gotta do to get through with it, and we all do that, and I'm happy to. But it meant that I needed to start thinking about how to work smart instead of work hard. Around the time I made that movie, it was sort of a fundamental shift in my approach. And now, when it comes to doing this stuff, I just look at the young guys and go, you're gonna be great in this shot, man, go kill it.
Did you ever return to the franchise?
Absolutely. Got a script? Yeah, that was great fun. Are you kidding? Bedazzled.
Well, you go out there and you give 110% and you want to play good and, you hope you play good. I think we played pretty good tonight.
Which version of Elliot do I like the best? I like the guy that he became. Harold Ramis directed this movie as a parable of a man's journey towards redemption. He signs a deal with the devil, all right? The devil's gonna trick him, devil does. He goes through these 7 different incarnations of himself, trying to better himself, be someone that he isn't. The version of himself that he learns to accept and love most is the one who he always was, but just wasn't owning it from the very beginning.
Yeah. What do you say we go down to the club tonight and we pick up some chickettes, huh? Nice talking to you, Bob.
Now, if you watch the film in the last few breaths before credits roll, you'll see that our hero and heroine are walking out on a bridge, on a pier, and a man in an orange robe, a monk, appears. And that was Harold's nod to his belief of us being on a spiritual journey. He was a Buddhist at heart himself. He believed in unity, and he believed that life is being a journey. And we go through crazy things in life, of course, and it's a film that demonstrates that with these different sequences that are, little moviolas in and of themselves. I love this movie because it was almost like it was a morality fable. In the end, you wonder, was the devil God all along? And maybe it's part of a grand plan. Maybe not. But the journey that he goes on is one of self-discovery. And that's what I loved about it. And I loved the makeup and the variety and working with the stock cast of characters who keep reappearing, recast in all the different sequences. Liz Hurley is funny as hell. She gets the joke about being the pretty girl in movies. She does. And that was her wardrobe. It's a stock character that she does. Like no one else. Liz nails it. And then in between setups, she'd go back and sit in her chair and pull out needlepoint and have a chat. Matthew Mungle designed and created all the different looks that Elliot went through. Ben Nye Jr. was the makeup artist who collaborated with him, and they made each character a little bit different, but you can always see Elliot somewhere in there. So maybe his nose was a different shape. Maybe his hair was a different version of what you saw Elliot as he was introduced. I mean, you should still be able to see the character, even though he's been reincarnated as a Colombian drug lord.
Muy buenos días, señor. ¿Le apetece algo de comer?
Como dices, no habla español. Un momento. Estoy hablando español.
The day that we shot the stuff, it was in Montecito, California. And at lunch break, John Cleese, who was at that time living there, he was like the de facto mayor of Montecito. He came to visit Harold at lunch, and he was like, "What are you filming today?" And so Harold explained, well, it's a joke about a man who speaks Spanish but doesn't know he speaks Spanish until he speaks Spanish. And Cleese was like, it was like relief, because if we can make John Cleese laugh, you're like, I've not heard that joke before. The Monty Python seal of approval. And The Whale. I didn't know the name of the movie. I didn't know what it was about. I didn't have a script to read because it was not available to me. I heard that it was based on a play. I didn't know what it was. I really went in like a babe in the woods. Really just wanted to meet Darren Aronofsky, world-class filmmaker Darren Aronofsky. I'm sitting in his office and he's telling me about, he doesn't know if he's gonna make this movie or not because of the elements that go into creating this character. Needless to say, I read the script, of course. I got that feeling again that I got when I was a kid, when I got the call. You mean I could do this? I mean, it's a possibility. I don't know if I'm going to be able to or not, or if I'm allowed to, or if I'm invited to, but the answer is yes. I mean, it felt like destiny calling.
Do you ever get the feeling that people are incapable of not caring? People are amazing.
It had the earmarkings of everything that I would love to play in a character. He's conflicted. He's infinitely human. He's not perfect. There are dark shades to Charlie. Charlie's us. He's just another person. Someone who we could easily dismiss. His story is played out behind closed doors in the dark of a 2-bedroom apartment somewhere in northern Idaho. In his world, he also has a journey of redemption to go on. The fluidity that Sadie plays, this beautiful, controlled rage, was breathtaking to me. I was constantly going up on my lines, and that's just because I got cobwebs upstairs and I was wearing a lot of gear, but also because I was just slack-jawed. I'm not joking, watching her work. She won the game ball every day we worked, I'm telling you. Hong Chau, well, first of all, Hong Chau just makes everyone better around her. She elevates the material for how personal that she makes it. There's some sort of alchemy going on in her process that makes you believe everything she does or says. She smacks of such authenticity. It's astonishing. The cast, the crew, Darren, Sam Hunter's screenplay, all respect the dignity of who Charlie is in a way that I was not prepared for. I have been since able to meet and speak with people who have seen the movie. It's a work that I am confident can change hearts and minds. I'm astonished. I'm happy. I'm a little bit bewildered. I'm optimistic. I'm excited to get to know my peers in a meaningful way. I only can think of what comes to mind when I read the words, "I know not all that may come, but come what will, I will go to it laughing." That's Herman Melville in 1851. It means a lot to me.